Dear students, in our last lecture we have seen what does it mean by neoclassical literature and neoclassical criticism. It is quite essential for anybody who wants to study William Wordsworth's concept of poetry and his concept of poetic diction to understand what neoclassical literature means, because the literature that William Wordsworth wrote was in direct revolution to the neoclassical theory of poetry, and that's why it is quite essential, or it will be quite beneficial for us to understand the poetry, and most particularly here the critical essay written by William Wordsworth. Now, we have understood what neoclassicism means. In short, I will tell you, neoclassicism means adherence to rules laid down by the classical poets, classical critics of the Greek and Roman literary era, golden era, and the period in which William Wordsworth, his friend E.S.T. Coleridge, P.B. Shelley, John Keats, all these poets, they wrote their poetry, and that period in English literature is called as Romantic period of English literature. Most of the students of literature and those who are not concerned with literature, they might consider the word romanticism in the wrong way or the unexpected way. Romance, romanticism, all these words, they are related to love. But here, apart from love, many more other things are involved, and that makes the literature written in the period considered to be romantic literature. There are certain characteristics of this literature. As you can see on the screen, it was a literary movement that began in the late 18th century. That means around 1798 with the publication of lyrical ballads of William Wordsworth and E.S.T. Coleridge, and the movement, as it is mentioned here, end around the middle of 19th century, but in fact it ended only up to 1835, most particularly, to be precise. And it has the influence of it was influenced by William Wordsworth, E.S.T. Coleridge, and other poets as well. There are certain characteristics of this romantic period. It is a literary movement spanning roughly from 1790 to 1850. The movement was characterized by the celebration of nature and the common man. This is the very important characteristic feature of this literary period. It was a kind of celebration of nature, human nature and surrounding nature, all these things, as well as that of the common man. And it was a focused trend on the individual experiences, in contrast with the neoclassical period, wherein individualistic features are quite separated from the poetry of that age. Moreover, the romantic period, there was idealization of women and an embrace of isolation and melancholy. Means it was mostly a personal kind of poetry written in this period. And if we compare this poetry with that of the poetry of neoclassical age, that concept can clearly be mentioned here or illustrated here. The poetry of neoclassical age was most particularly the poetry which was written objectively based on certain rules, but in case of romantic poetry, less rules are followed and more individualistic perspective or features are followed by the poet. As I mentioned earlier, the prominent writers of this age include John Keats, William Wordsworth, P.B. Shelley, Mary Shelley, and one mention is very important here, that of S.T. Coleridge. Now, what is the definition of romanticism? The term romanticism does not stem directly from the concept of love, as I mentioned earlier, but rather from the French word romant, a romantic story told in verse. Romanticism focused on emotions and the inner life of the writer, and often used autobiographical material to inform the work or even provide a template for it, unlike traditional literature at the time. Means it more particularly focused on individualistic features of the writer or individualistic ideology of the writer or poet and the personal feelings of the poet. It appealed to the people because of its a kind of novelty, newness. Because in neoclassical age, the same repetitive things were happening and people were in need of something new or some change, and that change was provided by these these romantic poets. Romanticism celebrated the primitive and the elevated regular people, common people. Means it does not, unlike the neoclassical period, it does not praise the aristocratic people, but most particularly they were focused on the common people as being deserving of celebration, which was an innovation at the time. Means common people, they were not the focus of the earlier era, but from the romantic age they became the focus of the subject for the poetry. So it was a kind of revolution, it was a kind of innovation for literature itself. Romanticism was fixated on nature as primordial force and encouraged the concept of isolation as necessary for spiritual and artistic development. We will come across the words like tranquility, wherein William Wordsworth wanted to show that a poet needs a kind of isolation in order to go deep inside oneself and write some or come along with some poetic formation. And this is stated here in this para. Now, what are the characteristics of romanticism? We'll see one by one. It celebrated nature. Most of the poets, they wrote on nature. The poet like John Keats, William Wordsworth. William Wordsworth was known as the nature poet. Daffodils, his poem is quite famous. It deals with the nature surrounding us. And the poetry of John Keats, Autumn, it's also a poetry on nature. It was also a kind of focus on individuality and spirituality. Individuality means single self, personal self of the poet, and spirituality means it's not the word which is quite beyond understanding of anybody or any common person. Spirituality means related to one's own self. It's a quite simple thing. Means when we close our eyes, we are alone. We are not alone, we are with oneself. We are completely barred from the outer world, and that is what the spirituality means. When one looks into oneself, when one introspects oneself, that is a kind of the method of spiritualism. And here the poets, they tried to focus on the self or focus on the life through the inward journey. And this is mostly seen in most of the poets. They also celebrated isolation and melancholy. Isolation means separated from the crowd. That is a kind of isolation. And that isolation gave them a kind of energy, the power to contemplate, to think about life and to express their views on life. And melancholy means sometimes there is a kind of a sadness, a touch of sadness, we can say. Apart from that, there was interest, as I told you already, interest in common man. Common man was never been the subject of poetry or subject of literature at all. But now onwards, with the coming of romantic period, romantic poetry, there developed the interest in the common man. Common man was considered to be the subject of poetry, the topic of poetry. So this was a kind of revolution, as I told already. Idealization of women. In many poems, there was reference to the pure love, beauty, and this came as a kind of consequence to the nature poetry. Again, there was personification and pathetic fallacy. Personification, as you know, is a kind of figure of speech wherein we give animated feelings or features to the inanimated object. So this became a kind of tendency. This was a very great tendency used in the neoclassical period, but in the hands of the romantic poets, it was a good tool for poetry and they used it frequently, but that was not to the extent as neoclassical poets they used. So these are the common features of romantic literature. Now further, again, there are certain characteristics which we might not have referred earlier. These can be repeated again. Characteristics of romantic period, the first is the glorification of nature. The people, the poets of romantic age, they focused mostly on the nature. Awareness, second is awareness and acceptance of emotions, personal emotions, because earlier there was no scope for the personal emotions, and here in the poetry of romantic poets there was a lot of scope to the personal emotions, feelings, and they gave outlet to their own feelings as well. There was third is the celebration of artistic creativity and imagination. Means as neoclassical poets, they tried to adhere or they tried to stick to the classical rules or classical theory in order to compose a poem. But the romantic poets, they, instead of finding roots somewhere else, they tried to find roots in themselves, and that's why there was scope for creativity also, and there was scope for their own imagination also. There was no borders, no barriers to their imagination. They used their imagination as much as it was possible for them. The beauty, aesthetic beauty, the pure beauty, it is called as, they tried to emphasize on, they give stress on the pure beauty, aesthetic beauty, beauty in its pure form. That may be in nature, or that may be in women, or that may be anything else. A pure beauty is emphasized or used or focused in the romantic literature. The theme of solitude means isolation, contemplation, spirituality, the words, these are the same one and all. Focus on exotism and history. It is least, we can say, is not that much important characteristics of the romantic period. Spiritual and supernatural elements. Now, spiritual elements and supernatural elements we can see most particularly in the E.S.T. Coleridge's poetry. He uses these elements to the best of his quality, and he uses that in order to bring home some message of his own, that how a human being should behave. Further is vivid sensory descriptions, means they were quite personal experience presented in the poetry, and these personal experiences are presented in the words such that the readers can experience those feelings at their best. So the poets of Romantic period, they used vivid sensory descriptions, many words which could express their feelings in a better way in order to the reader, in order for the reader to understand it in a better way. Use of personification, as we discussed earlier, focus on self and autobiographic. So these are the broad characteristics of the Romantic period. We'll further discuss the things as we try to understand the essay of William Wordsworth. Thank you for today.